Greetings, commanders, and welcome back to another Warpath video. We are finally back. I was in vacation for I think 2 to 3 weeks. I took some time off. Just wanted to, like get the annual vacation done with. But we're finally back, and that is what is most important. So I've been checking out your requests lately, and you guys wanted to see a lot of combat testing with these maxed out units, so that you would know exactly which path to choose from the modern units that are right now being introduced into the game. So what we have right now today in this video is a test between the two new units, which are the helicopters and the modern battle tanks, or what do they call them? I completely forgot their name. The main battle tanks, actually. so these two units right now, we're gonna actually be doing a test, and this test is against a maxed out super heavy of a behemoth unit. This is basically the maxed out super heavy. As you can see, we have two of those, 13.4 million power, and then we have the 14.3 million power, both maxed out as well, the helis and the main battle tanks. But there's a thing about these: we don't have any parts yet equipped to any of these, but you would still imagine the power basically overall. We still have 140k power. As you can see, this is all maxed out over here, and in terms of prototypes is all maxed out as well. They currently are about 7 million power, firepower, and 2.7 million HP. And then we have, of course, 5.8 million firepower and 3.3 million HP. Of course, generally speaking, like, the helicopters will perform better because they have more firepower and more pen depth than those of the main battle tanks. However, in terms of survivability, the main battle tanks, of course, have much better. Look at the armor, sloped armor. If you compare those, there's 200mm more armor in the main battle tank than the helicopters. So if you're looking for a more balanced survivability unit, then you are looking at the main battle tanks. But if you're looking for more damage dealing, high maneuverability, and kind of movement speed unit, then you're looking at the helicopter. Of course, we chose both to be from the same camp, so that you would have a kind of get the same result out of this. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna target this one over here and the other one the other way, but we're not gonna have any officers equipped from both this one and this one. This is because some officers influence the testing massively in a negative way, and it's kind of unexpected what will happen, especially for officers that, trigger skills based on a percentage. So in terms, when we're combat testing, we're not going to be including any officers, but we're going to actually include a second part of this video where we do include some officers in the combat testing. Now, without further ado, let's see how these units perform. We're going to definitely show you the battle, what will happen afterwards. These units might be kicked out of the blue. Okay, that was a massive critical hit on the main battle tank over here. I'm just going to call them MBs right now. Let's go ahead. Maybe I should zoom this in a little bit. And yeah, sorry about the lag. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. That looks better. Let's take a look at right now what's going on. As you can see, the HP of both of these units are actually going down, kind of similarly so far. There's more damage being dealt to this guy, which is kind of expected. But in terms of survivability, the main battle tanks aren't actually doing their job, kind of. I expected the helicopters to go down much quicker, but the main battle tanks did take a lot of damage. And they're taking more damage as we speak right now. I think the main factor over here is because the fact that helis are dealing more damage, which means that the super heavy that is the heli being attacking is losing more HP at the same time. Oh god, that was a penetration, and that was a penetration over there as well. So what's happening is that the super heavy is losing more HP, which means that their overall power and damage output is less over time. So this is basically what's going on right now. Obviously, when you're on the field, you would definitely not have this specific scenario. You would have multiple units like fighting each other. But as you can see, some penetration shots over there, and it's looking really interesting on the left side, to be honest, in the helis. The main battle tanks are probably gonna lose this one really hard, but it's actually very close between the helis and the super heavies over here. So I'm expecting the helis to actually win this one, win this trade, even though they're getting penetrated heavily. But let's take a look how this battle unfolds. So far, The HPs are looking very similar on this side, and on this side there's a massive advantage for the super heavy. So when it comes to super heavies versus MBs, then super heavies is definitely your choice, but in terms of maneuverability, then MBs win for sure. Super heavies are extremely slow, and they're not really suitable for field fighting because any other unit would be able to outmaneuver you in a field fight, but they wouldn't outfire you unless they are helis, as you can see. I did post a video about helis before, how strong they are, and we kind of seeing that right now in the helis right here. Obviously, you can see that the main battle tanks are almost gonna die right now. And the heli is probably gonna win this. I'm actually very interested to see which one is gonna win over here. I think the helis would be able to win this. Okay, so this one is not targeting me. That's good. I didn't want this one to switch targets out of a sudden, and then that would screw up the test. But this looks so far very interesting. It's a little bit slower right now because of the fact that many of these units have already been lost. But let's see if the helis might actually be able to survive this and take down the super heavy. From the looks of it, they might be able to do that because the overall power of the helis are more than the super heavies, but nothing, like, it's not over till it's over. So let's see what's going on, what's gonna happen right now. There's one thing that is actually very interesting, is we're gonna try out now the same combo, but 2 different times, and we're gonna play the video like halved and probably speed that up a little bit. So what we're gonna try is actually put on some officers on the super heavies and put on some officers of high penetration on the heli and the main battle tank. From what I've seen, I think in the second test, the super heavy is probably gonna win, but we might be able to see something different from that test as well. And as you can see, the helis actually won this with 2.5 million power remaining. This is a very interesting test. So as you can see, this is basically the heli over here. And as I said before, helis are extremely strong. Now, this is mainly just 2 units of test. We're going to definitely be testing out more units later on. We're going to be testing the artilleries, which one should you go for, the howitzers in terms of howitzers, and in terms of ATGs, which one should you focus on first. And definitely, if you want to know all of these tests, I would highly recommend that you subscribe down there. If you do consider that, that would be amazing. And if you so far liking this video, maybe throw us a like down there. That will help us out a lot. And just a quick disclaimer from Winter Huntsman over here, that this whole video is done on a test server. As you can see, my gold is like 2 billion. That's not real, of course. This is all a test server, and it's not linked to any online server that is right now in the game. So don't worry about that. This is just for testing for content creators and other GMs that want to, test out the new update. This is actually update 5.1, and right now we're going through some tests with this update, and this is mainly one of the things that we're actually testing out. So you guys will have all the exclusive content for you before the update actually comes out. Once the patch notes come out, you will have multiple videos explaining all the new changes that are happening with the update before it even comes out. So for that, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much. Alright, let's take a look at the combat report that just happened and see how much damage that was dealt by the unit and how much damage suffered. So as you can see, the helis over here dealt about 59 million damage, while the MBs dealt only 25.4 million damage. Now that was expected, but not till this extent. I thought that these would deal about 40 million to 45 million damage, knowing that their damage output, but that is not actually what happened. In terms of damage suffering, that was 43.3 mil, and that was 60.2 mil. And the reason for that is mainly because these dealt more damage, so the enemies couldn't actually deal more damage back to them. Now, we have another test that we are gonna do right over here. So as you can see, we have 2 maxed out officers that are leading each unit type right now. Basically, what's gonna happen is that we're gonna try the helis versus a maxed out officers. Basically, what we have is 2 accounts that are mimicking each other, and they have the same officers. So we have 2 maxed out officers, this one and this one. And on this account as well, we have 2 maxed out officers, same goes over here. And we also have mirror super heavies with the same officers. So we're basically attacking 2 different units, but same officer combinations on both sides. And as you can see, the power has kind of reached a really high number. We're talking about 27.2 million power just by adding these 2 maxed out officers to this whole combination. So let's go ahead and try this combo out. We're gonna start off with the super heavy actually because it's slower, and then we're gonna move right over here. and see how much damage is dealt. We're going to show you actually the combat from 2 accounts after this, but it's super interesting to actually see how this will unfold. As you can see right now, we're having much different fights. So these ones are actually surviving a little bit more. The Hellies are having a hard time surviving against those. Now, the officers themselves could be also not the perfect combination, and I know that the 2 officers that are right now on these super heavies are kind of overpowered, but let's see a real battle scenario where these officers are actually against each other. This is purely just to test the combat capabilities of these units when they're using the same officers versus the same amount of officers. Of course, the super heavies are probably gonna win this time because they are extremely OP. This shield is insanely OP, and but let's take a look at actually how the MBs perform, and I think that the MBs are actually lasting much longer, but it's interesting to see how much damage being dealt after this battle unfolds, because that's not necessarily means that the MBs actually dealt more damage or survived more, because from the looks of it, that they're actually losing kind of the same level right now, depending on the penetration and overall performance. So let's see after this fight what kind of reports we'll be getting from this, and kind of see how it will unfold. I think the Hellies are actually gonna take over as well and perform much better with officers included, but we're definitely gonna see this unfold differently. Of course, this video is not to test out the officers themselves. We're gonna have a separate video to test out the best combo of officers for each single unit. So leave me in the comments below what kind of units would you like me to test, and which officer combos would you like me to test with those units, and we're gonna do this kind of testing and tell you exactly which combination you should go for. But if you don't have anything interesting, just leave me in the comments below that you're interested in that type of video, and we will definitely up that speed and upload it as soon as possible. So this battle is already over for the Hellies, and it's almost over for the MBs. Let's see how much actually the damage of the MBs. Okay, it's almost over and it's done for the MBs. Let's take a look at the combat reports right now. It's just super funny that the super heavies are still maxed out in terms of HP. As you can see, these super heavies are extremely tanky, and they're extremely strong, especially with the current combo of officers that I'm running. And if you don't know this combo, this is definitely the best combo for super heavies right now out there. But of course, this combo is still countered by, like, if you're attacking with multiple troops, or if you're attacking with ATGs and howitzers. So I think ATGs will actually deal a lot of damage to this combo, and this is gonna be our test soon for this video. But for now, let's take a look at the first battle report that we have right over here. So as you can see, this is basically the report for the Hellies over here, and forget about the super heavy. We're going to show you exactly the other report on the other account, but for now the Hellies did 20k damage on their own, or 20 million, sorry, damage on their own, and the officer damage was 25 million. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the MBs and how much damage did they actually do. So right now we are in the other account, and let's see how actually the MBs did. Unfortunately, the officer damage did not register for the last fight. I'm not sure exactly why is that reason, but there definitely were officers on that in that unit. As you can see, these are the officers right over here. I'm pretty sure I did put them, but apparently it could be like some sort of a bug in the test environment, as we currently saw. But that's completely fine, because they did about 13.7 million damage, and that was 20 million damage by unit on the other hand. So there's about 6 million or 6.5 million damage difference in terms of units. I believe that the officers damage was about the same, maybe a little bit more for the MBs, and the reason for that is because they survived more, but that's also depending on the attack damage. So it would have been actually really nice to see the officer damage over here if it wasn't bugged out, but overall, as you can see, the performance of the Hellies is actually much better than the MBs. And even in terms of survivability, I didn't see that the MBs are actually really that strong in terms of survivability. The only thing that is actually left for testing is Hellies versus MBs against each other, but we'll have a different video for that, because this video is actually very long. So we're gonna definitely be testing out these units against each other in a different video and see how they actually perform. But I wanted to show you the core combat capabilities of each unit in this video, so that you would know which unit to focus on later on in the game. Because there's definitely going to be a lot of super heavies, and there's definitely going to be a lot of ass kicking in the battlefield. So I hope you guys did like this video. If you did, maybe throw a like down there. That will help us out a lot, and consider subscribing to the channel. thank you so much for watching, and we will definitely see you on the next video. Bye bye.